I cannot believe I just realized this. We all know that life gets busy at some point. We all know that sometimes life gets so busy that we tend to forget ourselves. And I will be the first one to always tell you and remind you that it's not the way to go and that it will make you suffer even more. I just can't believe I realized this recently, although it's something everyone knows. I know that I know it, I know that you know it, but it's just something that doesn't click unless you actually go through a situation that opens your eyes about this essential matter. So let me tell you that the last few months that passed were one of the busiest times of my life for the past year. And typically I would say that, okay, I put myself first. I'm going to put myself first and make sure I don't lose myself. Although I know that I'm going to be in a busy situation, busy life, busy whatever, right? But at some point, I started prioritizing life events and things that were just going on in life and things that I had to complete, things I had to do, to the point where I started forgetting myself. I started giving more value to life and what I had to complete, that I started neglecting my sleep, neglecting my health, neglecting my diet, neglecting my overall self-care, which is essential no matter what. I started putting fitness to the side. I started just neglecting everything that would essentially benefit myself. Why? Because I started just prioritizing these life things, life events, and life priorities that I told myself had to be completed no matter what, even if it meant putting myself to the side. And what that essentially did was I lost control over myself. I started losing myself. I started losing what I was actually living for, what I was actually striving to do. And my number one priorities aside from those life things. And when you start losing yourself, when you start not taking care of yourself and neglecting your own health, it will backfire 10 times harder. And that's exactly what it did with all the health issues I had prior to these months that I decided to be really, really busy. And all these meds I had to take, all of these health issues I literally had to take care of. I also, after those treatments, had to make sure I was taking care of myself, my body, my diet, and everything. And I did the exact opposite. When my gut, okay, my actual gut, needed me the most is when I left it to the side during the months that it actually needed to heal. And when I started neglecting it to the point where I was just actually eating like trash, going ahead and eating junk food all of the time, not sleeping, sleeping until, I don't know, 2, 4 a.m., doing absolutely nothing, scrolling on the dang phone for absolutely no reason. It backfired because my digestion became really bad. Everything that came to my gut was really bad because once again, I was recovering from meds that I had to take for these certain things that were going on. And so it just made the whole situation within my body 10 times more complicated. My face was more bloated. I just looked really rough. I looked tired all of the time. You know, when you're not taking care of yourself, it all shows on your face, it all shows on your body. You just can't hide it. And so that's when the complications with my gut started to happen, that I realized I'm really neglecting myself to the point where my body is reacting in a way where it tells me that it needs help, but I'm here trying to neglect it, trying to ignore it, just because I'm trying to be in that comfortable situation where, and that's when I opened my eyes literally 2 days ago or 3 days ago, that are you actually this retarded? Are you actually this retarded to neglect yourself when at the end of the day, this is the only body you're able to be in and that you are in and that you can literally do something about, the only body that needs you to take care of its health. Your health is so valuable to the point where when you lose it is when you actually realize how essential it is. I swear that years ago, I did not even understand the value of health. I did not even care about health, although I was applying these really bad habits when it came to my diet, to everything, because I was really obsessed with foods and sugar. I was, and still trying to cure this sugar addiction, to be completely honest, but to the point where when you let these pleasures of the world take over your life is when you're going to self destroy yourself. You're going to destroy yourself until you realize that well, you have to do something about it before it gets worse, or that you should have done something about it because now you can't do anything about it because it's too late. So when I realized that, whoa, am I this retarded? Am I this dumb to bear with me, to neglect myself, neglect my health, neglect everything that comes around taking care of myself, when I can only function if I take care of myself? You can only function when you take care of yourself, and you're neglecting yourself to the point where you need it to be in a really, really vulnerable state for you to stop. All these bad habits we have, all these bad things we're doing to our body just to live in the pleasure of life, is just not worth it, because you don't want to let your body get to the point where it's going to be in the destroyed position that you're gonna say you're finally gonna start. What if it's too late? Why can't you start now and start to actually control yourself when it comes to these things that you're maybe addicted to, or that are holding you back from taking care of yourself, taking care of your body? I feel that a lot of things we neglect, as I did myself for many, many years, and even now I'm struggling with, and I'm actually starting to apply. But that's when I realized that health is really essential, although I already know that. But when you get to a point where you actually believe it from the bottom of your heart, is when you tell yourself you have to stop, no matter what, no matter how hard it currently is for you to stop that bad habit. You'll have to stop to actually take care of yourself the way it should be treated, the way it has to be treated. So that's when I started to realize I have to give up all these things that I love, or that my body is addicted to, and that my body wants me to keep doing, like sleeping late, doing absolutely nothing, eating bad without even being satisfied enough, scrolling, not learning anything at all, wasting my time, not learning anything at all, everything. All these bad habits that were going against my self care and taking care of myself, I told myself, I realized that these are bad. These should not be part of me, because they are only destroying my health. They are factors that are destroying my health and making it worse. So honestly, without health, you have nothing. And I think that it's something that people, or most people, don't realize until it affects them most. But you really have to prioritize your health and how you spend your time. And no matter how life gets busy, no matter what you're doing, no matter what task you have to accomplish, no matter what work you have to accomplish, no matter whatever you have to accomplish, just give yourself 1 hour for yourself, to take care of yourself and to make sure that you're actually sleeping at a reasonable time. Because how are you expecting to function properly when you are not even maintaining the full brain of what is actually making you capable of completing these whole daily tasks? Certain things do come to you and affect you the most when you need it most. And I think that this video could be your sign to stop these bad habits and actually take care of yourself the way you need to, which is exactly what I'm doing myself, no matter how hard it is. So just remember that you are a really valuable asset that you should continuously work on and invest in, and to just continue doing it all of the dang time, so that your body is continuously happy with you. So thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I'll see you guys in the next one, and subscribe to join the community. Goodbye!